Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Read Aloud time. Together, we're going to read a wonderful story that I know you'll love. My name is Serenity, Miss Serenity, and I welcome you here. I'm so glad you came. Let's sit together and read a wonderful story. What story, you ask? Well, find out. Come with me. Today's story is Curious George goes to an ice cream shop. And there he is. Hi, George. Hi. Let's begin. Our story is adapted from the Curious George film series, edited by Margaret and Alan J. Shalleck. George and his friend were cleaning the house. "We've worked hard today," said the man. "Let's treat ourselves to ice cream." "George, do you like ice cream?" "Oh, yes, you do. Me too." "Look, George, there's a new ice cream place in town," said the man with the yellow hat. "Let's give it a try." "We've come to try your ice cream," the man said to the owner. "I'm glad someone has," said Mr. Herb. "Come on in. I just opened the place, and no one knows I'm here yet." "Well, I'll have a strawberry cone," said the man with the yellow hat. Mr. Herb dipped out a scoop of strawberry. George was curious. Could he scoop ice cream too? "I have some errands to do, George," said the man. "Stay here until I come back. You can have some ice cream, but don't get into trouble." Oh, boys and girls, do you think George is going to get into trouble? Let's see. "Take your time deciding, George," said Mr. Herb. I'll start on a special order that I have to fill." George couldn't make up his mind. There were so many flavors to choose from. "My favorite flavor is chocolate. What's yours, boys and girls?" Mr. Herb was busy filling a bowl with ice cream. "This is my first big order. It's for a party, and it has to be just right." Just then, the phone rang. "That might be another order," said Mr. Herb, and he went to answer it. The next thing you know, George had climbed onto the counter and picked up the scoop. "Oh, George, did you really do that?" "You did?" "Oh, boy, that's not good." He dipped it into the banana ice cream and put it in the bowl. Then he dug into the strawberry, the nutty walnut, the raspberry, and the chocolate. Oh boy, boys and girls. George. Uh-oh. Soon there was a mountain of ice cream in the bowl. George was just about to put vanilla on top of peppermint when... "George!" Mr. Herb yelled. "That's not what my customer ordered." Oh boy. "George, are you in trouble?" "Yeah, you're in trouble." Oh boy. Look at Mr. Herb. He's not happy with you. Oh boy, George knows he's in trouble. Now I have to start all over again, he said. Get away from here. Mr. Herb was angry. George was scared. He ran over to the other counter in front of the window. There were jars of cherries, nuts, coconut, whipped cream, and all kinds of sauces. There was even a bowl of bananas. George put some bananas in a dish. Then he added raspberries, chocolate chips, and whipped cream. That sounds delicious. George was getting hungry. Suddenly there was a tapping on the window. George turned around. Oh, outside there was a crowd watching. Now, boys and girls, why do you think the people were standing there watching George? Can you guess why? Add some nuts, George, called a boy. Try the sprinkles, said a girl. Don't forget the cherry on top. How could George forget the cherry? Just as George was about to taste his masterpiece, Mr. Herb came over. He was still angry. But before Mr. Herb could scold George, the crowd rushed in. I'd like a raspberry sundae, said the man. I'll have a banana split, said another. Mr. Herb could hardly keep up. The orders kept pouring in, and we can tell that made him very happy. Look at his face. Finally, everyone was served. Thanks for all those customers, George, Mr. Herb said. You messed up my big order, but you sure made up for it. Just then, the man with the yellow hat came back. Have you finally decided what flavor you want, George? He sure did, said Mr. Herb. Looks like everyone's happy. A little of everything. Yay, George! That was a great story. And everyone's happy. Isn't that great? Yes. Oh, it was so nice to see you, George. Thanks for sharing this great story. And maybe we'll do another one of your Curious George stories soon. Won't that be fun? Yes, it will be. Okay. Well, boys and girls, you can think about Curious George next time you have ice cream. We'll see you soon. Bye.